near-death experience that writers and researchers like our own Daniel Brinkley have described. And I could see on the side of the tunnel that there were sort of luminous effects of other events going on that were rushing by very quickly. And then suddenly we popped into view in Santa Fe, and the tunnel closed, and we had essentially teleported 2,000 miles across country in several seconds. So that was essentially my entry into DARPA's Project Pegasus. I quantum leaped from Woodridge, New Jersey to Santa Fe, and over the next 5 years, Santa Fe would be used as sort of the collection area for these teleportings that were going on from different similar labs around the country.
Explain this device, which you call a Tesla teleportation device.
Well, it was essentially a device that was found in Nikola Tesla's papers at the time of his death in January of 1943. There were two teams of investigators that were rushing to his suite at the Knickerbocker Hotel in Manhattan. Two War Department agents and also two agents from the FBI. And the War Department agents got there first and seized Nikola Tesla's lab manuals, the papers of Nikola Tesla.
Yes.
Tesla's papers were never lost. My investigation over the last 10 years essentially proved that, in fact, they were forwarded to the individuals in the world who it would make the most sense to forward Tesla's shop manuals to, the physicists that were then gathering in Los Alamos, New Mexico, to build the atomic bomb. And this was a critical moment in the history of U.S. time travel research and development, because at that point, Tesla's work during the latter part of his career, during the last 15 or 20 years of his life, was weaponized. It was sequestered within the defense technical community because the war was on, and it was believed that the primary significance of the teleportation technology contained in his papers would be to enable the U.S. military to put troops precisely where they were needed on the battlefield. Teleportation technology that the U.S. government has been in possession of for now over 40 years, based on these schematics and mathematical formulae and an actual rendering of the device that was found in Tesla's papers, essentially works in an opposite way. It opens up a vortal tunnel, or interstitial chasm, as it were, in the fabric of time-space. It essentially, when the individual teleportee jumps through that field of radiant energy, that curtain of light, of shimmering light.
Almost like Sliders, that show.
More like that, yes. The universe is actually wrapped around the teleportee, and they are repositioned. When the tunnel closes, they're repositioned elsewhere in the time-space continuum.
Did it ever happen with Project Pegasus, where they lost people by sending them off somewhere out there?
Well, during my investigation, I was informed by one source at CIA that several of the participants had literally been lost in time. There was one mishap on the project that I was a personal witness of, however, so I can certainly confirm that they weren't entirely certain what would happen when we would pop back into view. What happened was in the fall of 1970, we had a series of essentially rehearsals for that would involve having us jump into a certain location from different teleports around the country. I think this was in furtherance of the idea that they would send children to overseas locations to participate in espionage and not really be noticed as child spies. And so we were jumping through the teleport at Curtis Wright in Woodridge, and there were other children jumping through identical devices at different locations in different states in the eastern United States and in the Midwest. All of these classified defense-related research and development projects have a defense attaché. This would be the person who would be the point man or woman between the Pentagon and project engineers, for example, like my late father, Raymond F. Bishaga, who was one of the Ralph M. Parsons Company engineers on the project. Or let's say to the Federal Science Administrator on the project, who was Harold M. Agnew, the director of the Los Alamos National Labs. The defense attaché to Project Pegasus, to this secret U.S. time-space exploration program that emerged in the late 1960s, was none other than Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. At that time, Mr. Rumsfeld had already served as an aviator during the Korean War for the U.S. Navy. He had already served in Congress. And during the time that he was working for President Nixon's Board of Wage and Price Stabilization, he was secretly serving as the defense attaché to this project under the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency.